everyone, welcome to my channel. Thank you for clicking the link. Thank you for deciding to show your girl support. I just appreciate it and I thank you so much for that. For my YouTube page, I would be doing looks like this, showing you tricks on how to create the illusion of higher cheekbones and all of that, like easy beginner friendly makeup. This look was just achieved with literally 3 eyeshadows, and I'm going to show you how to do stuff like that for people that don't necessarily have a lot at their disposal, a lot of makeup at their disposal, but they want to look glamorous. That's what I'm gonna be doing. Please don't forget to subscribe. The link will be like the box, I think it's like down there. It might be here, it might be there, but hey, please subscribe. Thank you. I'm going to show you how I achieved this beautiful look today. Just keep watching. Let's go. Let's get started. So the first thing, typically I like to tint my brows. I tint my brows overnight. I put this, it's called Maybelline Tattoo Brows. I do this like once in 3 to 5 days depending on how long your wear is for. I tint it overnight and I take it out the next morning. It sets the base for my eyebrows, and I think it usually helps me to draw better. So once I take that out, I use the e.l.f. Instant Lift Brow Pencil. This is what I used to fill in my brows, and I just cleaned up my brow with LA Pro Girl Concealer. I use the shade Almond because it's close to my skin tone. Now that that's done, I would like to start with priming my face. I've showed this before on Instagram. I use NYX Angel Veil Primer. It's awesome for dry skin. I just put a tiny bit and it usually lasts like...
That was an error. This primer is awesome for oily skin rather. I have extremely oily skin, that's why I use this primer.
Next, I'm going to use this Cover FX. It's called an enhancement drop. I use it underneath my foundation. I think it has this glowing effect, so it helps with the radiance. And then I put MAC Strobe Cream. I have the mini version. I just put a little bit because I said I have oily skin, so I don't want too much oils on my face. The next step, I pick and choose when I do this. I'm not gonna do this today, but just for those that may want to do this, for those that have oily skin as well. I would normally put Sacha Buttercup powder. I will put this on my face, just a tiny bit layer before I put my foundation. I do that if I'm going to work or if I'm going for like an event and I know I'm going to be out all night. I'm not going to do that today because it's just a virtual call I'm going to have. I'm not going anywhere serious because of the lockdown, so yeah. Next, I'm going to put my foundation. I like to mix 2 foundations, the Maybelline Super Stay and Maybelline Fit Me. There's 2. They're about the same shade. I use 340 in both of them. I mix because I find the Super Stay is a lot thicker and I like the finish of the matte Fit Me. Just a teensy bit. As you can see from my arm. As you can see from my arm, I didn't put too much. Mix that on my arm. Typically, I like to go a shade darker for my foundation, and you would see why in the next step.
2 hours later.
Next, I'm gonna put in on some concealer. I'm using LA Pro Warm Honey. With concealers, I put here, I put on this side of my cheek. If you want to have your face lifted up, what I would suggest is putting it this way as well. Not a lot on this side, just more towards the upper side of your face. I'm gonna blend with the Real Techniques Beauty Blender. I already have this damped with my setting spray.
Once I blend this out, it's going to match the shade on my neck, and it's going to be easier for me to contour this way because I already have a darker cheekbone.
Once we're all blended out, I would then put the Instant Age Rewind Concealer as well. And then I have this beautiful e.l.f. concealer. It's a little bit light, so I'm just gonna put like, not too much, but I think it brightens up my, the coverage is beautiful. The thing is, I got this in the wrong shade, but I'm not gonna complain. What's happened is happened, but I can work with it. I love the coverage, that's why I stuck with it. Coverage is beautiful. But I tend to mix it with this because it's a little bit too light for me. And then I'm gonna do this again. Ooh, I lied. I have one more step here. I don't want this to be like flawless. And then here. Some parts of my skin I want a little bit brighter. Now I'm gonna blend.
I use the lighter shade of concealer as a highlight. This way I don't need to use a highlighting powder after this is done because it's already set underneath.
Now that I look white as shit, I am going to contour my face. I got this palette from Winners and it was like the best thing ever. They had it on like sale. I believe I got it for like 30 bucks, usually it's more. I'm gonna mix. I like to mix this shade and this shade. This is too light, that's too dark. And then on the other side of my brush, I'm gonna put the lighter shade on my forehead because I don't want to look too whatever. And then I love this brush to see how pointed it is. I'm gonna put that on my nose. I'm just gonna do this again and here. I need to put my nose. Now let's blend. It's like I see the shading, but I don't see the lines, and that's what I love. So even though, yes, my concealer was really bright, when you blend it in and you don't see the lines, it honestly, it looks beautiful. That's just the word, beautiful. I'm a weirdo, sorry guys. And then what I'm going to do is my nose. I like to use, I believe this brush is from Urban Decay. I love this part of the brush because it's small and angled, so I can just go into my nose and blend. I love to drag it into my brows because I feel like it already gives me the illusion of eyeshadow. That way I don't spend too much time having to use eyeshadow as well. I would use eyeshadow, but it already sets the base, if you know what I mean. And then blend that into my nose.
2 hours later. One eternity later.
Okay, now I'm gonna set my face with the Urban Decay setting powder. I lied. Sasha Buttercup setting powder. Girl, Urban Decay where? Alright. See how this place looks wider? I'm gonna fix that. That's the illusion I want to create till I fix it, so that's beautiful. Now I get to do contour. Contour. I can find it. I'm gonna be using this. This is from Sephora, by the way. I forget the name. I'm gonna have it in this. It's called Spice Market Blush Palette, but I'm gonna be using this shade right here because it's beautiful. A little goes a long way, so you don't need too much. I literally, from the same pan, I just dusted once and I put that in both cheekbones, and I'm just gonna blend. It's very cool and warm tone, which is what I'm looking for. So yeah, I usually tend to take my bronzer up. I love to have my face lifted up because I feel like I have really chubby cheeks, and I put everything this way so it looks as though my face is like, you know, snatched. Alright, so I'm just going to use my Morphe palette. I broke this, sorry guys, but it's this way, and I'm going for like a soft tone. So first of all, I'm going to use this brush from Morphe, and I need another brush because I need something angled, and this brush, yeah. So remember how I wanted to keep this? Oh, I covered my beauty spot. Whatever. Remember how I wanted to keep this up? That's because when I do this, I'm trying to achieve, I'm using this shade right here. You don't have to have the Morphe palette. Most people just, honestly, most neutral shade palettes have this these days, so. See what I did already? And then just drag that in a little bit. hold that up here and drag that in a little bit. And because I already put like concealer on here, I don't need to do too much. I just need to put a little bit because it's already on top, and voila. What I'm gonna do is add like a little bit of a darker shade. I'm not gonna do the most. Just a tiny bit. And then I'm gonna use this blending brush just to blend it in. It looks so beautiful, like minimal work, because I lifted this place up, right? So I literally have to do very little to achieve the look. Because I'm going for like a snatched face, like a lifted cheekbone, lifted eyelid. Normally people don't tend to bend their brows, but I don't mess with straight brows, so yeah, a little bit. I'm good. Do you see the difference? Like, when I put on my eyelashes, believe me, game over. And I have to put, I'm gonna do this second part of my face, and then I'm gonna be right back. This is, I don't know if anyone knows this brand, but I used to work with them before, so that's how I got it. Their shades are beautiful. I'm just gonna put
For this shade, you can just grab any neutral palette, grab the shimmer on that palette and put that on your eyelid, and you should be good to go. I'm just gonna complete the rest of my look with some eyelashes and eyeliner, and I'll be right back.
All right. So what's next is I'm gonna put on some highlight and some blush, and that's it. Oh, my lips, highlight. Back to the same palette. I'm gonna use this to highlight my skin. This brush, I believe it's from Real Technique as well. I would highlight upwards, so it drags my face this way. Put on some blush. I'm using this shade, I think it's this way, this shade from the Sephora palette, and I tend to take a little bit more upwards and then just a tiny bit on my cheekbone. So what I would do is this way first. I take like a little bit of the blush because blush goes a long way. It's better to go like it's better to go with a soft hand.
Lastly, I'm going to throw on some lipstick and I'm going to show you my finished look. Stay tuned.
This is the final look, and it could not turn out any better. I'm in love with the head bands, by the way. This looks like date night, ready to go. It looks like we put so much effort into this, but it was like bare minimum because of the amount of concealer, how we targeted the concealer where we wanted our face to be lifted up. The lip plum also makes my lips look bigger, and I'm always down for that. The final thing I like to do to feel pretty is some perfume. I'm just gonna spray a little bit of this. I have nowhere to go, but you know, why not?